Those are the most radical leftists that you will see, by the way, the most radical. Not middle of the road, not centrist, the most radical leftists you will see up here.
That
so the fact that Justin gave them a platform is good.
Yeah, I think Terrence has to go. He said it in the chat. Terrence, I really love your content, dude.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. But to all the people, some of those people in the comments said that I should be a Democrat because of what I said. Screw you. I'll never be a damn Democrat. I'll never vote damn Democrat ever in my life. And I don't think anything I said sounded freaking liberal at all. So screw you. But that debate, that was not a real debate. That was just a fucking roast, to be honest. Like that was not a real debate. It was just people screaming at each other. At that point, it sounded like a damn reality show, So I mean, that was.
I was in the comments. And I kept on having to come out here and mute certain things.
But anyway,
they kept putting the things up.
Hey, cousin T, God bless you, brother. Be careful, man.
God bless you.
I love your content, Terrence. Thank you.
Oh, T, real quick, guys, if you want to help T out, go to cousintees.com. He has the best pancakes in the world. Go support a local Trump supporter in his business.
Yeah,
thank you, bro.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
Bro.
Thank you.
God bless you.
I appreciate it. All right.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'll go ahead and let somebody else jump up too. I have to get going, but hey, Justin, I appreciate you modding and bringing me up. Ryan, you guys all did a great job. I was just trying to let people talk the whole time, not interject too much, but I appreciate you bringing me up.
Yo, Anthony, did you say SK wanted to come up at one point?
Yeah, I think she's in the chat. If you want to bring her up in my place, you could go ahead and do that.
She did request a box, but she's definitely welcome to come up.
SK, if you're listening, you could jump in. They'll let you in. Yeah, you guys, everybody sub to Justin, Ryan, everybody in the panel. They do a great job. I tune into your lives a lot, and you guys are doing a good job, and I appreciate you hosting the debate.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for coming up, brother.
Thank you. Bye, bye.
Yeah, let's get back on to what the real issues are here, and that is ensuring Trump's victory. I don't see how anybody can support Joe Biden after what he said yesterday. He was completely rambling and making no sense whatsoever. At one point, he said Vice President Trump. What did he mean by that?
That was the first question. First question I asked, and the last word Andrew was Harris. He said Vice President Trump. He also said he wanted to shtup. And the UN conference, he also said he wanted to shtup his that guy's wife.
Do you see his clip where it's like, I don't know what he said, but I don't know what he said
That's
either.
the best
I'm Vice President.
Oh my God, so good.
That's a classic. That is a classic.
I love that.
Somebody just said that he's smarter than Trump.
Venn diagrams.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Look at his campaign today. His fucking first words was basically attacking Trump. He didn't say there was people. I'm pretty sure you watched it, Justin. You watched a little bit of it. The first damn thing that comes out of his mouth is attacking Trump. He ain't expressing nothing. He's not telling the American people what he wants to do in the next fucking 4 years. Y'all want to come out here and say Project 2025 is all Trump, but look up Democracy for 2025, and I said I can guarantee you. Look at the main authors, Marcus Elias. He was a fucking lawyer for Hillary Clinton, so that's basically it's just gonna be a Russian damn thing again, trying to keep Trump out of the damn White House. Y'all ain't got nothing to learn on besides Roe v. Wade and trying to keep Trump out of the damn White House because y'all so fucking scared. You fucking fear mom damn day.
So again, on the national polls, abortion doesn't even figure. So that's why I don't like bring up abortion on this slide, because it doesn't even figure on the national polls. Number one is the economy. Number two is who is more competent to be president. Number three is employment and loss of wages. That's number three on the economy. You go just Google Gallup list national concerns. The latest polls all come out. Abortion doesn't even factor into it. And number four and number five is immigration. And again, immigration affects the economy. So these are the issues that Republicans need to tackle. Now on the state and local level, when we saw us get trounced, I want to say trounced, but expectations were lowered in 2022 when we didn't gain as many seats as we had. Abortion definitely was on the ballot, but I think Trump's agenda 47, where he talks about how sending it back to the states is the best thing. Everybody agrees. Again, guys, this is sad to say. 2 million more babies were born, but more ABs happened after Roe v. Wade was overturned. So we had 2 million more babies born, but at the same time, the rate of Plan B went up. So sending it back to the states is the best thing. People can make their own decision. And honestly, it's a non sequitur. I hate talking about this topic, not only because it's so divisive, but because there's no winning argument. There's not a winning argument on the left, and there's not a winning argument on the right.
And that's why I really wanted to come in at that time, because these kids were talking about abortions, and I'm a woman and a mother and, an American, just like you guys are. But I had so many things to say to the left that hopefully next time I can talk to him about it. But yes, right, you're right.
Real quick. If there's anybody in here that enjoyed this live and you haven't followed yet, hit that red follow button at the top of the screen. We go live every day, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until the wee hours of the morning. You're more than welcome to subscribe if you want to help support us. It is much appreciated. We're doing a raffle at the end of the month for our Trump supporters. We're going to give away anything that you're choosing on the Trump website directly from his shop, whether it's a hat or whatever you want. And two lucky people will be picked. You'll be prioritized to come up into the panel whenever we're full, or if you have a request to come up, and you can use the Trump emotes in the chat.
I'm gonna say this before anybody else talks. Y'all tap the screen because I can see that you're cutting in and out. You're probably getting reported. Hawk, I sent you the invite because you were worried about the views. You want to type in caps. Come up here, you little sheep. We'll take you to school.
And tap the screen, guys. Get us over 600,000 likes.
Justin.
Hold on, Hawk in the chat.
Justin.
4K to 1.2K. Bro, Hawk, if you came out, people would drop out because you have no knowledge and no sensibility. So again, we don't bring up low-life people like you who have no talking points. You guys simped for these 3 people that came up.
Yeah, you got to be worth our time.
Too, so that brought people to the live, and we're okay with it. The more people that come to the live, the more discussion we can have. But don't knock somebody just because they dropped out. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Ryan,
To the people,
Ryan.
I'm
gonna drop down for Hawk, bro. So there's no excuses.
I already removed him. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone, bro.
I'm
You couldn't say, brother. I love you.
And to the people who are talking about the views, I could care less about the views. I don't do this for views. I really don't. I really only do this to spread awareness and get President Trump reelected.
Yes, sir.
That's right. We've been doing this way before.
I've been doing this for over a year now, every day.
So it's no big, yeah, fun, but big fun.
But I wanted to say this, Justin. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if my mic was on or whatever. I don't see that. I don't see the box lighting up. But we got to exchange contact info in the DM, and so that in case you ever have that situation happen again, where you have an available ticket to a rally and near me, because I definitely want to go.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna hear you from a mile away.
Thank you for the 2 new people who just subbed up, Joni and American Freedom.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Or evening, night, whatever it was in the morning. But I just wanted to come up and tell y'all my story. I consider myself an abortion survivor. My mom had scarlet fever when she was younger, and it caused her to have heart trouble. The doctor, well, she had one child before me, and she ended up losing it 3 or 4 months old with a lot of complications over it. The doctor told her not to have any more kids. It would kill her. Unlife her, I'm sorry. And she told him no, she was going to go ahead and have me. And they physically were going to pick her up, take her to a clinic to have this done. My dad came the day before they were going to pick her up to get her. And the day after he had picked her up, she felt me kicking inside her. If it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be here today.
All right.
Well, thank you for the story. For the opposition.
That's wild.
Real quick, we're going to make this interesting again. Red hearts in the chat if you're for Trump, blue heart Biden, orange heart undecided. Can we get some ops?
Hey, Justin, while we're waiting, thank you for this live tonight. I don't subscribe to people. You're my first. Just letting you know, I have watched you and you align with a lot of what I believe. And I love the debates that you bring about. And tonight was like unique, very unique. And it was, I couldn't handle it. I was just like, oh my gosh, I would love to debate those guys. But I know that everything that was shown here tonight was very revealing of what the younger generation of Democrats are trying to do, and they have no clue. And I actually messaged conservative Lynn and was like, you got to get up here and school these boys because they have no idea.
Tell Mel to request a box, yo. Tell him not to be afraid. If Mel is in here, tell him to request a box. Thank you. But ask him for his name. Bring him up.
Okay.
No, you're good.
He's got a request.
He's got a request up if he wants to debate. Just because he mentioned his name means nothing.
And tap the screen, guys. Get us keep
anyway, great
the engagement going so we can keep the views going up.
Yeah. it's sad to say this is what indoctrination looks like. When you see these younger ones up here making the statements that they're making and stuff like that, they're the same talking points as what, you know, they hear on CNN, all the other stations. They want to feel, most times they want to feel a part of something. So now they feel a part of something and they feel as if they're on the winning side, you know, and all that stuff. And for them, it's a trend. I'm not even gonna hold you. It's a trend.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
They wear their tuxedo. They're on here. They're trying to get their views. That's nice. But I wasn't trying to be a dick. I don't know if I want to say that in the chat. But like, there were no ladies up in here talking about the main thing that is for ladies, which is the abortion. And so to have a bunch of men up in here talking about abortion, wearing tuxedos and acting like this is a show thing, like that's so great for you. But like, when does it hit you? Like, when does it hit you as a male that you're up in here wearing your tuxedo, acting all extra, like, oh, I mean,
honestly, I don't believe that us as males should come out and speak on female, something that's directly directed towards female.
That's what I was.
You know, when it was something to that extent and stuff like that. That's for women to speak on and women to fight for.
And
I even commented that I felt like I was on the fly on the wall in a locker room. That's what I felt
women's
like.
rights, what?
This is why I don't even get started on this topic.
No, and Justin's amazing, you guys. Don't get me wrong.
Well, amazing, Justin.
Yeah, Justin, you didn't want to do the abortion topic. I could tell by your face. You did not want to do that. You were forced.
Yeah, I only like really talking about stuff I'm well versed in, and I'm not really that well versed in that.
There's no hate towards you, I promise.
Well,
No,
abortion is not political, guys. Abortion is not political. You guys forget it's personal. And just because, again, you guys complain about the Supreme Court
Good
shooting
point,
it down,
Ryan.
but no one complains. No one complains about the Supreme Court enacting it in the first place. By the way, by 9 white male people speaking for all of America. So it's not a political issue. It's a personal issue. We want to discuss politics. Trump v. Biden, and then which president is going to be best for America. And that's exactly what it comes down to. Which president do you live better under? Was it Trump when you had your pockets fat, full of money, were able to give your employees raises, or maybe as an employee got a raise? Or is it under Biden where you're destitute and you're going to food banks looking for food, which a lot of people are picking up a second job? You know, maybe you had a kid in during the COVID area because everyone stayed at home. By the way, we had a population growth boom during COVID because people stayed home together and they discovered they loved each other again for some reason. And now we have kids that we have to take care of. I think most people speak to that. And so again, what are we best under? Are we better under Trump or are we better under Biden?
That's why I don't debate LGBTQ. I don't debate race, religion, or abortion.
Yeah.
I was going to say this. You know, I take all these women in here. Go look at there's a documentary with Jane Roe. She even said before it went to the Supreme Court, it should have stayed with the states. That's in her documentary.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
guys,
heard
also-
that.
It's
Real quick.
been talk for years.
Real quick,
it's a social issue.
we got a Biden supporter up here, and we could probably use one more. Marty, go ahead and tell us why you're supporting Joe Biden without mentioning Trump.
I don't know that I'm supporting him.
Who'd you vote
It's
for in
just-
2020?
Who are you
I just,
supporting?
Off topic, but what a fucking live earlier, Justin. Holy shit, man. OM and Parker and Dean, and I got to tell you, man, that was pretty hectic. I'm sad that my TikTok glitched out earlier. I wish I could have stayed up on the panel, but what a live, man. That was pretty crazy. So again, I mean, obviously we don't have the viewer base, we don't have the viewers that were in here earlier, but if we could get Justin to at least a million, if we could get Justin to 1 million likes tonight, that would be absolutely awesome. So.
True.
anywho.
Yeah, but it's not even about that, man. Justin gives everybody a voice, and I think that you'll go on these liberal lives, and they will not give people. You will never ever see a liberal live. Well, they'll bring up 4 different conservatives.
No,
I promise you that.
never.
At one time, you will see that. And we brought up.
Never.
Listen, we brought up, and Harry was in the comments. We brought up the most liberal people, the biggest creators as far as liberal content on TikTok, onto a conservative live, and let them have a voice. You won't see that in liberal lives, and there's
you don't see that anywhere else. And I mean, shout out to Justin for allowing. I mean, even we went from I think it was it was Mr. Rational to the other guy who was in here.
We almost got
Screen guys.
Like he went from those guys to Parker and Dean, and especially Harry in the comments. I mean, that just proves that you go, like you said, Ryan. I mean, it's also good to see you guys. I haven't been on TikTok live for a while, but
we only bring up Mr. Rational because we need everybody.
Everything that he said, he was interrupting. He was talking over Justin.
Every king needs a joker. That's why we bring him up. It's fine.
Yeah, I wish
It just proves though that conservatives are the more rational people. You know.
Yeah, a conservative, a Trump supporter, a MAGA, holding that whole live together just goes to show you we're not as bad as you think. But I thought it could have been a little bit more productive. There was too much name calling. I don't know, guys. We got
no, but I mean when OM was talking. Yeah,
You know,
sorry.
no, we don't.
RTP, like he
OM
loves
was
the
talking in
word
RTP.
He just loves it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you get people like it's the Parker and the Deans and the Harrys and, you know, the Chris's of my generation that makes me embarrassed to be a part of it.
What we did at the end, when we put him up in the big box, it went a little smoother. I think that's the way it should be ran from now on, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do too.
That's why I was raising my hand, because I was wanting a woman up here, because I was like thinking in my head, and I was like, yeah, there's all damn men up here talking about AB, and I'm like, I feel bad about this because there's no woman up here talking.
I mean, the OM is awesome. OM is awesome.
Listen,
He
but
makes amazing points.
Dean's been pushing that abortion debate for like 2 days now. That's like the only one thing that he's really versed on. It's a lot of talking points, and that's why when he started with it, I was like, "Bro, we're not talking about this." And somehow it went to that. But they, you know, they can't debate policy. They point to these are social issues, guys. This is not politics. It's social issues. It's how people feel. These are feeling issues. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with statistics, stuff like that. They're social issues.
Right.
Just like debating religion, it's a social issue. You might disagree on religion. It has nothing to do with politics. What we really want to debate is Trump and Biden, Democrats, Republicans. What party is better for America? And I think we have the upper hand on that.
Well,
Yes,
then-
they do. That's why they don't want to talk about it.
Well, and the point that I wanted, I mean, I know I glitched out and, you know, I had content, you know, me and Bozy were talking sort of off panel, but like, I think it was, you know, the best thing that they hashed it out, you know, between them and that Justin, you didn't,
What'd I
you
tell you?
know, allow. Yeah. I know. Fucking, it got wild and, you know, just let them hash it out and shit like that. But I just wish I could have asked Parker and Dean and those guys, you know, the fact that they completely neglected that Biden has been incompetent since he was elected and it has gotten progressively worse his entire term. I wanted to ask Parker, it took you this long till the debate to actually realize and get in your head, yeah, you know, Joe Biden is not the fucking person that we want to, you know, have up here. The fact that it took them this long.
They don't care. Bro, they don't care about that.
It's because that debate. It's because of that debate gave undoubtable proof
competence, bro.
that he doesn't have it all. There's no excuse you can make.
This debate, though, what this debate did for them, though, it gave them the opportunity to point at Trump. You guys understand, this was a win for the Democrats.
Right.
Joe Biden being incognizant gave them more talking points to go after Trump, saying, well, what about Trump doing this? What about Trump doing that? And it obviously, the more controversy against Biden gives them more ammunition to go against Trump and try to make
So hold on, 1 second, please, 1 second. I do think on the left and the right, we got a little out of hand. So I'm not saying anyone was right or wrong. Topics were right and wrong. But I do think people, you know, I was told to shut up how many times? And people were told to shut up here and shut up there. And it got a little
Dean and
heated,
Parker
which
and all
is
those kids were talking about
disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Let's be adults and carry ourselves that way.
Hey, Joe.
Please.
Hey, Joe, what's up? Welcome back, Joe.
Hey, I want to
Let's be real. Let's be real. If you're gonna tell a girl to shut up, you better already be in bed with her. Like, it's the only way it works. Otherwise, they don't want to hear that. Don't. No, it was a joke. I meant that as a joke. I was just kidding.
No, I got you. Like, what? I was like,
No,
the fuck?
but my thing is that everything they asked for, I tried to provide. Like RTP said, where are your stats? I gave him stats. And then he said, where's your explanation? I gave him explanation. And he said, oh no, but I wanted stats. It's like, yo, bro, like, you got to decide. Like you can't get, like, I gave you stats, I gave you an explanation. And then when Dean came up looking like some fucking child in a red room, like he looked like if somebody had read 51 Shades of Grey and then said,
no, it was Charlie Sheen and the Lost Boys. That's all.
No, but it looked like if somebody had said, yo, 51 Shades of Grey, but there's a child in there.
Well, and you know, I want to say one thing, and then I'll mute.
You schooled him.
Yeah.
You schooled.
No, but that was the
RTP.
worst part. Is that me and RTP?
He got nervous when you did that. That's why he was acting that way. Did you see his body language?
I think he did.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. But me and RTP were having a great back and forth. And then when Parker and RTP showed up, and let me be real. Here's where I have a problem with that. Like, let's be real. It's Friday night. It's almost 2 a.m. my time. Parker is in college. Dean is in college. And I'm gonna tell you right now that I've graduated from 5 different colleges. I went to 6 different ones, and if any of them on Friday night I had been on my phone, I would have had my ass beat. Like on a Friday night, if you think what you should do, like Dean, is wear a suit and join a live, like bro, I have no doubt that you are considering removing a rib so you can suck your own dick because nobody gives a fuck in your life what's happening. And I'll be honest with you, I feel bad for Parker and Dean because these 2 kids are 20 and 19. They're both in college, and every night of their lives is on TikTok Live. And it's like, bro, there is no pussy in the world that is waiting on that. Like, and I feel bad for that.
And I mean, OM, I've been a follower of you for quite some time, but at the same time, Parker and Dean and all of those guys, they're in my generation. I'm Harry's age. Obviously, I vote conservative. At the same time, though, it took them.
Marco, do you identify as Gen X? Is that what
I'm Gen Z. I'm Gen Z, man.
Gen Z. He's Gen Z.
Baby.
No, but at the same time, though. No, but at the same time, though, hang on. You look at what Harry did, him going on Piers Morgan, acting like, thinking he was going to go on to a predominantly liberal live, thinking that Piers Morgan was going to agree with him from the liberal that Piers Morgan is, him getting fired from CNN, Ted Nugent completely, that's off topic. But, Harry went on there, and you have Ruben and all of those guys waiting for Harry. And his arrogance, his complete arrogance of him thinking that he knows everything, right? I say that I don't know everything. I have more common sense than Parker and Dean and all of those assholes. But at the same time, it's the arrogance that you get from Parker and Dean and Harry and all of those guys that just make me absolutely fucking embarrassed to be a part of their generation. I'm Harry's age.
No,
man.
that was.
No, but I gotta tell you straight out, dude. Like, here's the deal: is that it's not about the representation of Gen Z, right? Like, the loudest voices are always going to be the dumbest. That's the way it works. And I will never judge Gen Z by the loudest of your generation. I think that you guys recognize the world before you is not good. Like, I have the ultimate compassion for Gen Z because as a millennial, shit was all right. Like, for the first 20 years of my life, shit was good. Like, I thought I had a chance. But Gen Z, you were born into a generation that's
Justin, you want to bring this to restaurant?
Y'all are so fucked. It is unreal how fucked you are.
And I'm not saying that I disagree with you. I mean, 110%. I mean, this generation, I mean, you look at the, people coming up, younger than us. I mean, it's fucking scary, man. And, at the same time, like, we're all going to have to live through that.
Yeah, but you're not complainers. You're just realistic. Like,
conservative Gen Z aren't, but people like Harry.
They're not. And real quick,
Hey,
1
Justin,
second, guys. Give me 1 second. Hey, keep in tapping and liking the live for Justin because he really worked really hard to
keep liking. He's crushing it.
Yeah. So
yeah, guys,
moving
let's try and hit 700K likes here. Tap the screen. Red hearts.
I'm just saying, like,
don't forget to put that red follow button at the top of the screen if you're new. We go live.
No, if you don't follow Justin, you're fucked up. Follow this dude. He's
but hey,
he's the best.
OM, right? So I went on to Parker's live one night. This was like 2 or 3 months ago. And I think a big issue for a lot of people voting, is the foreign spending that we're wasting tax dollars on, right? That's a big issue for a lot of Americans. And what did I get when I brought up, why I don't think that we should be funding Ukraine? And I compared it with the complete genocide that Azerbaijan has been committing to the Armenian people since the mid 90s. I got a mute and I was disconnected. So these kids, they don't like fucking facts, dude. And, it's just ridiculous.
But that's where RTV cracked me up because he kept saying, oh, it's hopes and dreams, your thoughts and processes. It was like, no. I spent a decade in the military. I understand how delegation works. And I was trying to explain to him that delegation works this way. And he said, oh, trust me, bro. It's like, no, I get it. You're a streamer. You don't ever understand how the military works. But when you delegate authority, that's how it works. And he was like, no. And it was like, bro, just say there's no convincing me.
Yeah,
It's
and
pretty fun.
you know, a question, and I really hope that Harry lets me up at some point because I want to ask him. You know, they're preaching for the way that the immigration system has worked. Since Biden took office, which is completely just neglected and absent when it comes to focusing on the border. I want to ask Harry face to face. I believe that if you vote for something, you should have to live with it, and I want Harry to answer me the same thing that the liberal fucking mayor in Massachusetts of somewhere came out and said, if you have an extra room in your home or you have an extra suite, please consider hosting a family. So I want to go to these kids like Harry and Parker and ask them, I want you to host a family because you're preaching for those people to come in here. And I want you to literally sit there in your big house that it looks like you live in and host a migrant family knowing nothing about them and stuff like that.
So just to give you some history on Harry real quick. 2 years ago, Harry's parents bought a home for $2.6 million. They sold it for $4.8 million, and then they bought 2 other homes for $1.2 and $1.1 million, and they sold them for $4.8 and $9.9 million. So his parents are very rich, right? So no offense to him, his parents made good decisions. I get it, no big deal. But Harry's rich. Harry is balling. He doesn't have to worry about it. And here's the biggest question that I have for people like Harry and Dean and Parker and those type of guys is what about the economy do you have any experience in?
Well, and at the same time, I'm going to compare it to when Kevin O'Leary came out, on Fox, and he did an interview, and he said, I was left wing until I received my first paycheck, and I saw how much they waste in what's called tax. Everyone is left wing or confused when they're young, but the older you get, the more conservative you become. And I truly concur, and I agree with that.
But that's a quote. That's a quote where they say, if you're not liberal in your 20s, you don't have a heart. If you're not conservative in your 30s, you don't have a brain.
Yeah, wasn't it Winston Churchill? Winston Churchill said something like that, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think that was him. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
Literally,
Harry.
Like, of course you're conservative in your 20s. You love everyone and you think the world could be great. And then when you get into your 30s, you go, Jesus Christ, I want to get laid. And you go, oh my God, I need to figure out the world. You're like, the economy sucks. And then you look at your taxes and you go, yeah, fuck you, I'm conservative.
We'll see, but at the same time, OM, like, everything that the left said that Trump would do if he got elected, they turned around and they did the exact same thing when Biden got elected when it comes to world wars and economies and stuff like that. But it's really interesting to me that, like, everybody's lives in America just are complete ass. And, like, when it comes to paying your bills, paying for groceries and stuff like that, like, it took them that long to realize that, like, yeah, maybe voting left isn't the right way.
No, but
and, it took them so long to, yeah.
But that's what pisses me off so much. Everything that's popular about Biden, everything he's gotten credit for, is adopting a Trump philosophy where they were like, oh, what about oil and gas? Like, oh my God, Biden has the answer. You know what Biden's doing right now? He's currently drilling more oil and extracting more oil than at any time in our nation's history. That was the Trump policy. The minute he finally adopted that, everybody was like, oh, we love Biden's oil policy.
Yeah.
And then they said, okay, what are we going to do as far as war? And then Trump's policy was fuck around and find out.
Well,
if
at
you
the same
decide
time,
to attack an American enemy, we will fucking wreck you. And then Biden did that.
Joe, 1,000% right.
OM, yeah. I'm sorry,
1,000%
Ryan.
right, Joe. When he talks about, that's right. When he talks about, when they talk about oil, you're absolutely right. That's a craziest thing. As soon as he does what Trump did, they give him credit for whether it be oil drilling, whether it be 1,000%, whether it be what's the latest thing? Oh, the border. Like, as soon as he did the border thing, that's crazy. They're like, oh, look at
yeah. No, and Ryan,
counters. Bro, that was Trump policies all day.
And at the same time, though, it's so it blows my mind. Call me Gen Z, call me young, whatever. It's so interesting to me to see that Biden completely neglected the border his entire fucking term. And then 6 months before the election, he says that he's going to do something about it to have a fucking talking point to gain votes and saying that, oh, yeah, we're coming out and we're fixing it. No, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You already have, 12 million people in here already.
But here's what
Wait, guys.
Neglect, hold on. That word neglect is a strong word. It's not neglect. He purposely.
No, but can I just say this to Gen Z?
Yes.
To Gen Z, is that you recognize you've been alive long enough to recognize what makes our nation the best, and you can support that. You can fight for it. You can defend it. You can stay silent. But what you can't do is ignore the reality before you.
But
But it's people like me who recognize
OM.
that OM. It's not
We have
Parker and
to-
Harry. You know,
You guys,
there's a
you have
split
to
in Gen Z.
remember what
Yeah, sorry.
generation they're in. Listen.
No, but
Okay,
wait,
so
wait. Let me argue real quick.
OM.
That Biden.
OM, listen for a minute. Listen.
I'm sorry.
Listen. Okay, I have 5 kids that are grown. Okay, and all of them, when they're in high school, they learn things that are completely against what we all believe right here. And they're taught things, and we tell them, go to school, you're going to learn what is right, you're going to learn the truth, and they learn from these people in the schools things that are not truth. I can give you so many examples. One is that my son stood up when Trump was elected and they had the inauguration. They're supposed to show that in the school, and when they did not show that, he let his voice be known. Hey, I thought I was going to get to watch the inauguration. And his teacher said, you know, we already watched that in first class and second
It's despicable.
class. We're just going to watch something else. And he stood up and he got reprimanded. His desk was moved the next day to the side of the teacher's desk, and he had to sit there the rest of the year. And so we have to remember they are taught something that we as parents tell them, go to school, believe what the teachers say, and they're taught something. There's so much propaganda that comes. So like Harry and Parker and Chris and Dean and all of them, they went through that. And so all that to say, there's this propaganda that comes in, and it is up to us as the older generation to keep teaching them. And that's what you're doing, older millennium. You are doing that. All of us are doing that here. But to expect them to actually believe what we're saying is on us.
Yeah,
if we
but
get hurt because they're not believing us, that's on us.
Can I say real quick is that the scariest part?
The man.
The scariest part is that people are taught in history that it takes a lot to destroy a nation, and when it comes to our country, the worst part is it doesn't. It takes 5 to 10 years of the wrong choices, the wrong decisions, the lack of support that to destroy a nation. Like, I'll tell you what, when I was in 8th grade, I had a history teacher who asked me what my favorite subject was, and I said it was history. He said, okay, cool. So he goes, here's the challenge I give to you. He said, I want you over this year to find me how many civilizations or empires have failed. So I spent the year off time researching it, trying to find everything. I came to him and I said 517. He said, cool. That's what you discovered from the history books, and that's wonderful.
We found out who George Clooney is.
Hey, America. Hey, America.
He said,
What year
he
were you
said,
born?
no, but here's the thing. He said, what I want you to know is that there are 2,712 empires that have existed for more than 300 years throughout history that aren't even in the history book. That many, and that's the way I look at America, is we can be the greatest country that ever existed on earth, or we can be an empire along with 2,700 others who never even get mentioned.
You had a great history teacher.
And I do want to ask you
But that's
something,
not
America.
reality.
I do want to ask you something, America. After.
So I'm going to talk over all the men. But I want to say to you, Mama, the fact that you raised a son like that is amazing. Like, let him sit right there.
Oh,
He's
look,
not-
if I have a kid, they're going to be a fucking nerd about history.
Exactly. And you
Well, and to America.
exactly
I'm
what
sorry,
he
Joni.
did here, and that's why he was sitting right there. And he didn't give an F that he had to sit by that teacher for the rest of the year because he knew that you were right. He was right. And I
No,
love
my child is going to be a
Thank
fucking
you.
nerd.
And you know what's crazy?
Thank you,
and
Daniel.
people can be proud of what their mamas are teaching them.
Right. And what's crazy, Joni, you know what's crazy, Joni, is that the following year he was a senior, and when he, as a senior at his school, they had to be like a teacher's helper, and that teacher actually requested that he would be the helper, and she switched. It was crazy. He's like,
I
man, she's
love
talking
that.
about, it was crazy. So he saw the fruit of his determination to stand up for what was right. And so that's great, but that's not what happens most of the time. And when the Department of Education,
I'm proud of that.
Which is one thing I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
America.
Department of Education came into play in the 1970s.
It was the 70s. Yeah.
Yo, for you people in the chat,
We have to recognize that most
guys, Harry won't come up into this live. Justin Dog walked him on my live before. I walked Harry in his own live, and I think OM walked him before. Harry is too afraid to come up, so quit mentioning Harry's name.
No,
Parker
wait,
and Dean,
can we-
Parker and
There's
Dean
a
at
lot
least
of
have the
ways in
balls to
here,
come up.
OM.
But Harry, I promise you, Harry will never come up.
Let's be real about something real quick.
Still taking
Is
some
that-
proper
is that
acknowledgement away from
humanity-
this amazing.
And then I do want to ask America.
Wait,
a
wait,
question.
wait,
It's
can we
because
say-
Harry wants to be president.
Can we say real quick that humanity, see, people mess this up all the time. They think that humanity gets smarter. It doesn't. What we are is we are drugged into success by smart people. Like, let's be real. Like, we talk about it as far as, let's say, the Middle Ages. When we were drugged out of the Middle Ages by 5 people who drug everyone forward. We were drugged into space flight by like 100 people. The rest of humanity was still stupid. We were drugged into the modern age by 100 people. The vast majority of humanity was still fucking stupid, right? Like where we are today is not the result of humanity getting smarter. It's the result of smart people dragging us into the future. And then, but what that applies to is when we're voting, is people think, oh my God, it's 380 million smart people voting. No, it's not. What it is 20,000 smart people trying to convince millions of people to not be fucking morons. And that's the environment we're in. Like my videos, if they get 300,000 views,
I actually agree with that.
if they get 300,000 views, 2,000 of the people understood what I said. The rest of them are going, oh, yeah, that's cool. Because the rest of them are idiocracy. The rest of them are fucking morons who have been drugged forward by the intelligence of the better people. What we have to do is drive people to be the people driving. We have to recognize that humanity as a whole is fucking stupid. Without Google, they wouldn't know how to get to their grandmother's house. Like, and we have to
I hear you. I think that we need to figure out what we're going to talk about and continue on debating and having good conversation. So
cool. I'll throw a debate out there. Is if you, I believe in abortion, but after you have your abortion, you should be sterilized.
I have to.
I
am
do
100% going to have to speak up on this one.
May I say one thing really quick, Joni?
Yes,
I'm really sorry.
the woman. It's okay.
No. Oh my gosh. No, that's
Marco.
Yeah, all right.
That I was playing around. Go ahead, please.
No, I wanted to respond, and I know that we're on a new topic now, but I wanted to ask American, right above me, a question when she brought up the Department of Education, right? So as somebody who just recently graduated high school, I'm out, 3-4 years now. I completely agree and, concur with eliminating the Department of Education for one. As Older Millennial stated, one of his videos when he was, breaking down, Project 2025 with a complete liberal creator, he said that would give states not only an $84 billion in addition for tax dollars, which is a great point, but at the same time, it would stop a federally regulated curriculum being pushed forth into public schools, right? And I think a big issue that I have is CRT being pushed into schools. Critical, I'm just going to say, I'm going to code it, right? But there's one word in that really sticks out to me is critical race theory, right? Theory is not fact. So it's obviously a certain agenda being pushed forth into schools. And I just wanted to put that out there that I completely agree with eliminating the Department of Education. And leaving up.
Tony's response to.
So here's the thing. Department of Education was.
Well, hold on, America. We'll get
hold on, Joni's going to go.
No. Let her.
Theory is not fact.
In response. This is good.
No, Joni, I want you to respond because you're going to forget.
American, please go. Because you're in response to his. Go girl.
Okay.
I promise.
All right. So my thing with Department of Education, I was a 70s baby, and when that went into effect, my parents pulled me out of school. So they were very proactive, and they didn't believe that what happened with that was right, so they pulled me out of school. I was like a forerunner in homeschooling. And so basically our status in the world went down drastically when we added that into play. So the Department of Education is there, and yeah,
In layman's terms,
Just like
kids
you-
got dumber.
yeah, kids got dumber for sure. And so basically the Department of Education is unconstitutional. It is
Thank
not
you.
something that should have ever been into play. If you follow, the Chevron deference and all that kind of stuff, that is part of it. And so when states had control over it and parents, were able to have a say in everything, kids were educated better. They were learning the 3 R's,
Agreed.
instead of all of this other stuff coming in. But when the federal government got involved with the Department of Education, now people are receiving money from the federal government, and so they have to abide by whatever the federal government says needs to be taught. And that's where we have a problem. But
That's what I'm
love-
saying is that it's a biased
Yeah.
curriculum.
Yes, but what I love is that one thing out of COVID that is really a positive is parents started paying attention to what their kids were learning in school, because they had their kids at home and they're like, oh my gosh, what are they learning, right? And so parents started standing up, and that's really great. And so they're learning that the Department of Education really dictates everything that their kids learn. And because those local schools get money, and they will do anything for that money. If we took the Department of Education and got rid of it, then the local people, the parents, would have all the say over what their children actually
And
learn.
can I say
All right, real quick,
that I think, I'm sorry.
Guys, I finally got back into my Discord account. So if anybody wants to join our Discord server, if you're in the live right now, all you got to do is click my picture at the top left of the screen, and then this little box will pop up. It'll take you to my profile, and the Discord link is in my bio. You just click on it
Little self-promotion.
and accept
Don't
the
leave the
invite.
house.
So I don't hate, but hold on. Can I address?
Hold on, let Joni up for a minute. Love.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on, go ahead, Owen.
No, I was just going to say in response to Chevron deference, people misunderstand this so much. So here's the basics of Chevron deference. So normally what would happen is if you had a problem with the federal bureaucracy, you would go to court. And what would normally happen is you would have a determination and interpretation of the law, right? You would say, I did this because of X, right? Now, if without Chevron deference, what it says is that the court must consider the best interpretation of the law, the most reasonable interpretation, and that's what's applied. And that sounds reasonable. However, under Chevron deference, what it says is that regardless of the interpretation, regardless of the most reasonable interpretation, the court is forced to abide by the interpretation of the enforcing policy. So if it was the DEA saying we're going to abide by this, they have to abide by the DEA policy, regardless of whether or not they had a better or more suitable interpretation. So when you remove Chevron deference, it doesn't change the FDA. It doesn't change the FBI. It doesn't change any of that. All it says is that now the court must abide by the most reasonable and accurate interpretation of the law. Because before, even if they had a reasonable, sensible, great interpretation of the law that made sense, they would have had to give deference. This is the Chevron deference to whatever the agency said was the interpretation of the law. So what you're saying is the government, a collection of unelected bureaucrats, no longer get to interpret the law. And I'll tell you what, that gives me a boner.